Shalom and good day, all. This is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review. And in this indie comic review, I'll be covering Frank Miller's Ronin Volume 2 or Book 2. And moving into first things first, do these covers in regards to both of these issues. Cover anything that is actually happening inside with the story, or with like the first issue and the second issue. And sure enough, they do, to which I give the first cover on the right hand side an 8 out of 10. And for the second cover, also an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move to the area of the internal art around the beginning, middle, and end of both issues, and I'll move into the art rating. So as we start to move into the first issue, we've got the character that I believe her name is called Casey, and it looks like it almost looks as if she's stuck in a tank of sorts, like as you go throughout the story. And it's a bit hard to know if she's actually dreaming this or she's dreaming of actual events that have actually occurred with her. So as the story continues, we also somewhat get a bit of a flashback of sorts, and we finally move into the main part of the story. So as the story continues, it gives me some Lone Wolf and Cub vibes, just how some of the art in this is really used. And we get to see things happening between her and her son, who is named Billy. As things continue, we end up meeting, say, maybe one of the monsters that are connected to the past, and this is around the midway mark. And here she is continuing again. Like, it really gives a lot of, I think without the color, it can leave some discrepancies, but apart from that, I really like the art between Casey and also the child. As things continue, they go up against the monster, and we can see the monsters calling her names. And finally, moving towards the end, there's a bit of a face-off between the monster, until, of course, we learn that this child actually killed the monster. And this is why it sort of gives me Lone Wolf and Cub vibes. As we journey into the next issue, we seem to catch up a little bit more with the character of Billy alongside with Casey. And we encounter a new monster in a new issue. The battle continues, and I swear this kid is almost like the Son Gohan of the original character. As the fight continues, and this is just full-on monster kaiju throughout this story. We move to a scene that brings us into the water until we start to see his father, but we don't know if this is taking part in a dream or if it's taking part in sort of like the real life universe. The story and fight continues as mother and son. And of course, the main beastie somewhat in charge of this particular issue in the comic. And of course, maybe some foreshadowing of the main character returning to the series in issue 3. So for the internal art, I'm going to say this. I gave it an 8 out of 10 because of how consistent it was between the first issue and the second. So it's nice to know that Frank Miller can deliver some good independent stories where I don't quite like his Dark Knight through DC. But that's neither here or there. At least I can find something of his that I do actually enjoy. So, moving into the next thing, and that is the area of story. Well, we already know that this story connects to the Ronin universe. So, you'd think with something like this, it would have references to maybe some of the previous issues of the previous volume. So the question is, did it? No, it didn't. The next is the area of time. Did it have anything covering the area of time? No, it didn't, though I think it should have. Next is the location. I had no idea where the hell this was taking place. All I saw was mother, son, some thoughts, of course, linking to her lover, and no indication of where this is taking place in this particular universe. For all I can know, it could be taking place on a virtual simulator in the story. And moving in the last but not least, the cast of characters consisting of Casey and Billy. We didn't really get the name of any of those demons, though it would also help improve, I think, the story, but also it would help improve the rating for the story too. But overall, between these first two issues, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.